Okay.
Balaji sir,
Yes.
namaste.
Namaste. And today is a great day. 100 years of the control chart and
Yes,
100 years of the reason we all exist, quality. We exist because of what Walter Schuhart did today, making that
yeah.
presentation at 10 o'clock in the morning on 16th of May, 1924, in front of a bunch of 10 executives, explaining to them that he had understood and found a remedy to the problems that they were facing.
It's
So that
amazing,
led
wasn't
to,
it?
oh,
That
yes.
it was not something we normally say it is all discovery, 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 but this particular
No, no,
thing
no. This is
was
an
an
invention.
invention.
It is an
It was
invention.
an invention. And so today we talk on something which Walter Schuhart would have loved to uh, hear Deming admiring him and using it
Oh,
as
yes.
special cost variation and
Yeah.
common cost variation. He stuck to that. He stuck to Walter Schuhart. And
Oh, yes. And
so,
when saw the generic application of his thinking, saw it could be applied to people, and it was brilliant. So
yeah.
the thing about being applied to people, special and common, we're all common, and then you have some special people who are above the limit, who are special in a very, very positive sense, and there's some who need help, who need to be brought into the system.
Mm,
So applying the theory of variation, what Walter Schuhart came up with for a product, Deming insisted on applying it to people too. And he said, if you find someone special, fine, then see to it that the rest of the system is raised to the level of that person. So
mm,
everyone becomes special and then becomes a common thing. So it was amazing. Now, in doing that, there was one of the things that he learned a lot. He was influenced a lot by the philosopher called Clarence Iving Lewis. He was actually led to him by Walter Schuhart.
mm,
And C.I. Lewis wrote a book called Mind and the World Order. And
mm,
he said that a community of thought leads to a community of action. And that's where his concept of cooperation came in. And so he was preaching that in Japan in the 1950s. He said, you need to cooperate with your suppliers, you need to cooperate with your competitors, you need to cooperate with Japan must see itself as a system. And he tried doing that in America, but he said, we've been sold down the river of competition. And when he started making this claim, and saying that, no, it's cooperation, that's when people, okay, initially they said, okay, fine, it's making sense what he's saying here, but does that mean that there'd be no competition at all? And he said, oh, no. He said, you should be thankful for a good competitor.
mm,
And it does not pay to have a lousy competitor. So they didn't quite get him. They said, what do you mean? You said that competition is bad. He said, wait, you're talking about free market competition. You're talking about competition between people. These are different things. And he said in
mm,
free market, the only competition you have is in trying to understand the customer.
mm,
And he said, if you put out a better product
mm,
by getting closer to the customer, not by trying to bring down someone else, getting
mm,
closer to the customer, then not only do you gain, but everybody else gains as well.
mm,
And that's where, when watching his video called The Deming of America, and I heard him say that again and again,
mm,
I was thinking that, well, yeah, he did say competition will exist. And he made one statement there. He said that in a beauty contest, in a game of tennis, we knew that there's going to be one winner. We were ready for that before when we began. There's no problem with that, he said. But he
mm,
said in business, in education, there can be many winners.
mm,
And winning is different for different people. And
mm,
that got me thinking. And so I said, okay, so there is competition, but it's how you compete.
mm,
And so you have a competing with
mm,
someone, which means
mm,
you compete with yourself for a common good, and then you compete against someone. So
mm,
the compete against can drive your energies in the wrong direction.
mm,
Competing with and competing against. And I
mm,
think that he left his legacy in Japan was basically that. They know the difference between competing with and competing against.
yes.
They do have competitions there. There's no doubt about that. They have competition for the best quality circle. They have the Deming Prize, which is a competition by itself. But there are more than one winners, right? It's a very different concept. And that's what. So competing with, you basically compete with yourself where you were the last time you tried to do something, and competing against. I'll give you an instance here. I was just teaching this to I was teaching, now I had this good fortune of teaching the subject called supply chain management to the finance specialization batch in my college. And so I was telling them, what's your role as a finance person? You're the scorekeeper, right? You're going to raise the red flag. If tomorrow your company, responds to a customer need and meets it and does a great job, and they're all celebrating, and then you show them the mirror and say, boss, it cost us, 17 crores to do this, right? And there is a competitor who also managed to do that, but he did it in 12 crores. Now, you don't tell your people that next time we have to do it in 12 crores. No. You say, we did it in 17, next time, let's make it 16.
Yes.
You don't go compete against someone else.
Yeah.
You just compete with yourself. You will improve.
Yeah.
And you get better at what you do. What do you know? What do you know? You don't know what they've done to do that 12. And if you end up copying them, then they may be doing something other than what your strength is, which is pointless, right? So that's the beauty. Yes, if there is something good that's you get to see, there's no harm. And that's what that concept of benchmarking, it's not just comparing, right? You don't compare in a benchmark. You do compare is within the same industry, right? You compare what's happening here with what's happening in your company. But in a benchmark, you compare with, or I mean, put it this way, it's a comparison, but a different kind of a comparison, where you compare with the best that exists. That's why he used the word benchmark, right? Robert Camp, when he invented this concept, I mean, I don't have to say this. I think, Doc, you know more than I about this, but I think I'm reminding you maybe that Xerox thing, right? When he wanted to set up the distribution network for spare parts of the Xerox machine, he went and compared his network with all the other Xerox, manufacturers like a Fuji and a Canon, and he found that his distribution network was far superior. But he said, I know this is not the best. And then he laid back and then he realized what a mistake he was making. He said, wait, I need to look out for the best distribution network that exists. And he found the Bata shoe network. And then he studied it and he said, okay, this is so that's not comparing. We're benchmarking. We're looking for the best that exists, and not necessarily I'm copying anybody else. I'm looking for principles which I can adapt and adopt. So, that's the best I can say here. So we can throw this open.
Balaji sir, this was frankly a prelude to the main event that is awaiting us. So here we go, and let's see, because we need to know what the prelude is all about.
Right.
So thank you very much for being with us on Dr. M's Lounge.
Yes.
And a small introduction to you, a standard work as far as I'm concerned. And one thing, what I liked what you said about competing with and competing against is that it reminded me of what you taught me of the Deming's diagram, that you start from the consumer research and then you go to the vendors and you have the operations and then you go back to the feedback. And I'm sure that all of them will be competing with, because you got internal customers, you got the vendors that you compete with and not compete against, right? That's what the message that you gave me. So let me go further. And you don't require introduction. What we are, you are the founder of Deming Forum of India.
That's right.
1999. And then we have you to this is what you're going to talk to us in the main event. You're on episode 3. Can you see the slide?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, you're on episode 3.
Okay.
on Dr. M's launch, and what you are going to talk with the prelude. My followers on LinkedIn has seen, and those who have followed on the YouTube would look at, and we will get a lot of response to you. Is this what you're going to talk on the main event? The role of competition in an environment of collaboration and cooperation, the
Right.
Deming way.
That's right.
So, Jan, you're on episode 3. This launch is, we put it up on my LinkedIn page and the YouTube. We get a lot of written questions, their queries on the same subject.
Okay.
Having heard your prelude, there are a lot of questions I'm sure would come up because, as you told me that Deming, these are the 2 popular books of his, but
Right.
but there are several books on Deming
On
that has
him.
been written.
Yes.
So you can expect a lot of queries from those people across the globe who may miss it due to time zone, but many of them, 40 plus, invariably turn up at the launch. You will have a lot of queries from them. While
Sure,
you
sure.
would expand what we call the chapter 1 is when you expand the concept with the prelude of which you just gave.
Yes.
And then the written questions becomes this chapter 2, so that you're answering that. So that becomes a sort of a primer for the audience to get activated and ask you more questions. So there'll be
Right.
more interaction, and more interactions. So that's what we are looking for. And then I share it across the globe, right? So let me introduce Balaji.S.Reddie. The first introduction I'll give you is he's my mentor. And he's been taking me through 12 days to Deming, which is composed or developed by his mentor, Henry Neve.
Yes.
I hope
That's
I got
right.
the pronunciation right. And
Yes, absolutely.
I have not completed 12 days for the last 2 years for
That
reasons
is.
unknown, but I'm sure I will complete it this year as soon as possible. So you're the founder of Deming Forum of India.
Correct.
From 1999, that was 24 years, and you're the advisory council to the Edwards Deming Institute.
That's right.
Honorary member of Deming Alliance, and Deming Alliance is in UK, right?
UK, that's right.
Yeah, and then you have the young kids that you mentor, nurture, coach, and I remember you addressing way back, I don't know how many years ago in US, in Deming Institute, and I think
Yes.
on the subject why Deming or something to that effect.
That's right. Why Deming? Why India? Yeah.
Why Deming? Why India?
Yeah, you see, it was why Deming, why now was the theme of the
Yes.
program, and so I
Yeah.
just added why India to that. So why Deming, why now, why India?
And there you said that you are putting the seeds in the soil to the youngsters, so that at some point of time during our lifetime and their lifetime, the principles and the philosophies and paradigm that Deming had taught us would fructify, and we will see it in reality. I think that's something to that effect is what.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So that's the assistant professor part of you. And so that's what the main event is on probably a week from now, Mr. Balaji.S.Reddie, sir.
Yes, sir.
I will forward all the questions that I receive, and we'll have a great time. And as Deming would always say in the 4-day seminar, and you're going to say it for me, sorry for that. Why are we here? And he said that. And that's
May I
what
not learn? We are here to learn theory about why we need to do what we need to do.
And we're going to enjoy it.
And of course, we're going to definitely enjoy it. We're going to have a lot of fun.
We're going to enjoy it. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to enjoy the session. So that's where the event will be, and looking forward to a great event. And thank you very much for being there for me and the entire continuous improvement community across the globe. Thank you very much.
Do you need a fresh photo of mine?
Oh, you look as handsome as ever. So. I remember when you went to US, when you delivered that the address, you were
Yes.
wearing an entire suit, and I remember you in a red tie.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
So
registered there.
I'll send. Did I send you the photographs of the wedding? Because then you'll see a different Balaji-Reddy. So I can send you that.
Oh, I'm recording. So the wedding that he's talking about is that he has become a father-in-law. Congratulations, Balaji-Reddy, and you're
Thank
getting
you.
recorded and is getting published. You owe
Oh
all of
God.
us a good dinner.
Sure. I'll be coming to Mumbai sometime. We'll definitely catch up.
No, this is a global podcast. We got to invite people from across the world, right? Okay. Take care. Love you, and see you soon, sir.
Thank you, sir.